CGC Sports Illustrated reveal time. Let's do it. What's up, guys? This is Brad. I've got 10 slabs to share with you today, mostly Sports Illustrated. We're going to hop right in, starting with this 1999 Sports Illustrated presents. This is T. Martin and the Tennessee Volunteers. This is their commemorative issue from the 1998 National Championship. Got a 7.0. So here's the story on this one. I don't really care about this slab, but this is a gift for my younger brother. My younger brother is a UT grad. He is a huge Tennessee Volunteers football fan, and so I purchased this for him as a gift, and be sending it off to him pretty soon. His birthday's coming up, so hopefully he likes it. I projected a 6, so glad to see it come back at a 7. That's nice. This is actually the first NCAA championship football game that I remember watching. First of all, I've never been huge into college football. I know that sounds crazy for as much of a smart sports nut as I am, but I just never have been. And I think I was 8 years old whenever this game would have taken place. Actually, I was almost 9, but I do remember watching this one, and I remember T. Martin and the two previous quarterbacks for Tennessee before T. Martin. Do you know the answer to that one? Nice little trivia question. Peyton Manning was the one right before T. Martin, and before him was Todd Helton, who just got inducted in the Hall of Fame as a baseball player. So yeah, hopefully my brother likes this one. There have been 2 copies graded. The other one is an 8.0, and there's now this 7.0. So there we go. Starting off with a little T. Martin, Tennessee Volunteers. Change of pace from what I would normally grade. And got another gift for my brother right here from 1999, Tennessee football. This is Peerless Price. Peerless Price, great wide receiver, had a good NFL career. So what I mainly remember about Peerless Price is not only is my brother now a huge UT fan, but when he was little, he was a huge Atlanta Falcons fan, largely because of Michael Vick and because how exciting Michael Vick was. And Peerless Price was one of the top receivers for Michael Vick at the time. And I remember using Michael Vick and Peerless Price all the time when I was playing Madden growing up, probably on PlayStation 2, I think. I think it was like Madden 2004 that Michael Vick was actually on the cover of, and I would always play with the Falcons, and Peerless Price was a go-to guy there. So anyway, this one also has only been graded twice. There's an 8.0 and there's this one. Now I projected an 8.5 on this one. I thought this one was in much nicer condition. So I don't know why they hit me with a 7.5, but unfortunately, I got the tough grader again. He's back. My last 3 or 4 boxes has been the tough grader after a nice stretch with the kind grader. Yeah, I've said before in my imaginary head, there's 2 graders that do all of our sports magazines. One of them's really nice and one of them's not so nice. This is the not so nice one for this box, but that's okay. All right, moving on. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on those Tennessee slabs. Once again, those are a gift from my brother. I know he doesn't really watch my videos, so he's not going to see this. He's not as supportive as he should be of the channel, of the brand. That's okay. All right, next up. This is not a Sports Illustrated. You probably have a good idea from the back that this is a Beckett magazine, Beckett Baseball to be exact. And yeah, nice little Ken Griffey Jr. cover here. 9.2. This is from 1990, which is the same year that his first Sports Illustrated cover came out. I just think this is a beautiful cover shot. I mean, young Griffey was amazing. He was the man. He was known as the kid. And yeah, this is just a great shot. So I projected a 9. So okay, tough grader. Thank you for the 9.2. This has been graded a lot. 72 copies graded. This is a pop 10 with 40 graded higher. The thing with Beckett's is you don't really see any that will get labeled as subscription. Now, there are true newsstands out there of Beckett that have a barcode on the front. So this isn't necessarily a true newsstand, so to speak, but it's also not considered a subscription label either. So, you know, Beckett's are just a little bit different than the Sports Illustrated. They're very, very plentiful, and you're not really going to find any of them with labels on the front. So, you know, I don't think, you know, whereas in Sports Illustrated, A newsstand carries a lot more collectability because um, a label aesthetically kind of sucks. There's not really a difference aesthetically with a Beckett newsstand versus non-newsstand. In fact, a newsstand might even be less aesthetic because it's got a barcode on the middle. This one doesn't. This one just looks beautiful. So two of these sold in November 2023, two 9.2 copies, just like this one. One of them went for $40 and one of them went for $66. So, not no really valuable magazine at all. I just got it because of the once again the cover aesthetic. I think it's a great looking cover of young Griffey. Good chance I'll go ahead and sell that one and let someone else have it for a display item. All right, next up, we're staying with Griffey, and we've got a Griffey Sports Illustrated first cover here. Beautiful cover, super collectible. I projected a 9.0. Yeah, the mean grader struck me on this one. Gosh, I don't see 8.0. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, projected a 9. I got this magazine plus that Griffey Beckett magazine that I just showed you. I bought both of those raw in a lot combined for $25. So to me, that was a great grab. Even though this came 8.0 lower than I thought, I think that's pretty good value getting both of those together for $25. I do already own this in 9.0. Um, this is the first time that Griffey appeared on the Sports Illustrated cover out of 10 weekly appearances. There have been 134 newsstand copies graded of this first cover. This is a Pop 26 with 86 higher, and there's no 9.8s. There are currently 8 9.6s that lead the way. An 8.5 sold in November of 23 for $150. A 7.0 sold in October of 23 for $100. So, therefore, approximate value on this one probably around $125. But super awesome cover. Can't believe there's not been a 9.8 on that one yet. With as hyped as Griffey was, and obviously, 134 newsstands graded, that's pretty high. Can't believe there's not been a 9.8. All right. Just shows you how hard they are to get, especially if you get this grader that I got on this box. Okay. Here's another great example. 1989, Mario Lemieux, first cover, newsstand, as great as Gretzky. I projected a 9.0 and he slapped me with a 7.5. I don't know what the heck is going on. Like, beautiful front cover. See, I mean, there's a little bit of little bit of staining on the back. The front cover has like one tiny spine tick, and that's it. That's it. 7.5 to me is wild on this one. But yeah, first cover, Mario Lemieux, legendary hockey player. He was on 4 covers. He's a Hall of Famer, 9-time All-Star, 2-time champion, 3-time MVP. So yeah, pretty big time in the sport of hockey. 31 newsstand copies graded. This is a Pop 3 with 26 copies higher. An 8.0 sold in November of 2022 for $113. Mario Lemieux. I might send that one in to be regraded at some point. If I think CGC severely undergrades me, I'll send it back in sometimes. And I've never gotten one back lower after doing that. All right. 1993. One of my favorite athletes of all time, Steve Young, first cover. Projected this one in 8.5. This dude slammed me. I don't like this grader. Um, he's got something against me, I think. So I projected 8.5, got a 7.5. First Steve Young cover from 1993. Like I said, he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's the reason, him and Jerry Rice are the reason that I'm a lifelong 49ers fan. He was on 7 weekly covers. He was on another 5 SI Presents covers. He backed up Joe Montana for 4 years. He won 2 MVPs and a Super Bowl as well as the Super Bowl MVP. when he retired in the late 90s, he held the records for both the highest single season QB rating and the highest career QB rating. Now, since then, with the way that the game has evolved and passing has become much more prevalent, he's now dropped down to like 15 or so on both of those, I think. But he was an elite quarterback in his time, and yeah, one of my favorite players. So this has been graded 17 times as a newsstand. This is a Pop 1 with 12 higher, a 9.2 sold in November of 2022 for $350. I think at the time that 9.2 was the highest graded. I don't remember what the highest graded is now. I didn't mark it down. It might still be at 9.2. I want to say it's a 9.4. And I actually sent in two of these guys. This one I projected at a 9, and he gave me an 8. This guy's given me almost a full point below on all of these. Um, so I'm definitely going to keep this 8. Might even consider sending it in for regrading at some point. Still think this is a 9. And the lower graded copy that came back as 7.5, I might sell that one. I don't really need a duplicate. So there's that. Moving through these faster because overall a lot of these were disappointing, but the last three I think are pretty cool. Last three are good ones. So let's get a little more excited here. I'm gonna have a little more optimism. All right. This is the oldest possible modern year you could send in, 1975, huge cover, and it is Pele, first cover, newsstand 3.0. Soft grade, of course, but I actually projected a 2.0. So this one came out okay. This one's real beat up. In fact, there's like discoloration going all across up and down the spine. Um, I got this one. I think I picked this one up for like $10 or something. I saw it and it was just like really beat up and not descripted very well online, but I could tell that it seemed to be a newsstand. And so I picked it up and there you go. 3.0 newsstand. I will take that all day because this is Pele's first cover and only cover. And check this out. There have only been 11 newsstand copies graded. I think this one came in at like number 7 or number 8 on my all-time most collectible covers. This is an elite tier Sports Illustrated cover and only 11 newsstand copies. I already own one copy of this at 4.5. So, I own two of only 11 graded newsstand copies of this huge, huge cover. And even though they're low grade, a 3.0 and a 4.5, I am super happy with that. A 5.5 sold in December of 2023 for $300. So that tells you how collectible it is if, a 5.5 is going for $300. A 9.6 is the highest, and that copy sold for $25,000 a year or two ago on eBay. All right, 2 slabs left. Going pretty quick through this one, which is okay because I ramble on a lot of my other ones. This might be my favorite slab in the box. Actually, I have to say it definitely is. Not because we have Frederick Lundberg modeling on the back for Calvin Klein, but because we got my guy D Brown on the cover for the Fighting Illini. It's March, let the true madness begin. I got a lot to say about this one. All right, first of all, like I said, it's one of my favorite covers of all time. In fact, if you look up over my shoulder here, the very top row, those are actually photo prints. Those aren't actual magazines, but those are like 4 of my all-time favorite covers. You've got Yadier Molina, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer. There's the D Brown, and then Usain Bolt. Those are 4 of my all-time favorite covers. And so, yeah, I've had a photo print up there of this one for a long time. Now I got the actual real thing, newsstand copy. So the 2005 Fighting Illini were incredible. They started off the season 29-0. They finished 37-2. They lost their final conference game at Ohio State during the regular season, and then they lost in the national championship game to North Carolina, 75-70. One of their most memorable moments was in the Elite Eight. They were playing Arizona. They were down 75-60 with 4 minutes left to go, and they came back and won the game in overtime. Insane comeback. And a poll on NCAA.com in 2020 actually ranked that as the greatest March Madness moment of all time. The starting lineup for this team was, of course, Dee Brown, who played briefly in the NBA with the Jazz. Darren Williams, who had a lengthy and very successful career in the NBA as a point guard, also for the Jazz and for the Nets. Luther Head was the third guard. He played in the NBA for the Rockets. James Augustine was a big guy. He played in the NBA for the Magic. Roger Powell was the power forward. I'm not sure that Roger Powell played in the NBA, but that starting five was incredible. Roger Powell is now the head coach for Valparaiso. Just incredible team. And D Brown was so much fun to watch. He was a 4-year starter for the Illini. He was a junior this season. What a freaking stacked team. Their head coach was Bruce Weber. In 2014, Sports Illustrated actually voted this '05 Illini team as the best ever to not win a national title. I was a freshman in high school the year that they won this. I went on to earn my bachelor's degree from the University of Illinois in 2012. And like I said, it's one of my all-time favorite covers. And there's one more reason why this is one of my all-time favorite covers. And so you can see it says five guys. Well, first of all, it says D Brown, the number one attraction college hoops, and five guys who might stop him. You got Raymond Felton, NBA point guard, Rajon Rondo, NBA point guard, Jarrett Jack, NBA point guard. Guy number four is Darren Brooks from Southern Illinois. And if you have followed my channel for a while, you know I am from Southern Illinois. I live about 10 minutes away from Southern Illinois University. I'm a huge Saluki basketball fan. Darren Brooks was my dude. Darren Brooks was a back-to-back Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year and Missouri Valley Conference Defensive Player of the Year. That's never been done. He won both of those awards back to back in consecutive years, his junior and senior seasons. And the Valley has had some legendary players, Larry Bird and lots of other great, future NBA stars have played in the Missouri Valley. Darren Brooks, all-time Saluki great. So the fact that he's on the cover, plus, Illinois, like this is amazing cover for me. Now, here's what's even cooler. This 9.4 is a pop one with none higher. There's only been one other cover graded, and I projected this at a 9.2. So he must have known, even though he's a Grinch overall, he knows that this one meant a little more to me. So he bumped me up to a 9.4. The only other copy of this one that's graded in newsstand is a 9.2. So this is a pop one, none higher, of one of my all-time favorite covers. Now, is it a real valuable cover? No, I wouldn't necessarily say that, but it's just personally awesome favorite cover of mine. All right, no sales on this one. Oh yeah, I love that. Gosh, what a freaking fun team. Great memories for me. All right, one cover remaining. This one's pretty nice. Pretty happy with this one. This one, the grader was nice to me on this one. It's crazy to me how I can miss my projections on most of these so badly. And then it comes back so much lower. And on this one, I projected an 8.5 and he gives me a 9.4. But I'll take it on this one because this is the first Sports Illustrated cover for Steph Curry newsstand. Huge cover. In fact, I've kind of said this before, but I'm gonna just put it all out there right now. I think this is the number one most underrated cover in the entire Sports Illustrated collecting hobby. I truly think that, and here's why. Okay, so first of all, I mean, Steph Curry first cover, that's massive right there in itself. It's a variant. Okay, the other cover that week was Sidney Crosby. So that means, there were and was this a national variant where 50% of the country got Curry and 50% got Crosby, or was this only like a regional variant where 90% of the country got Crosby and only California got Curry? I'm not sure, but you don't see a lot of these out there in newsstand. So anyway, it's a cover variant, which, when you combine a first cover with a variant, that really kind of just exponentially increases the collectability. But here's really why I think this is the most underrated, in addition to those things. Steph Curry is one of the most influential players in NBA history. Like when I think most influential, like changed the game, I think Michael Jordan, I think Wilt Chamberlain, I think Allen Iverson, like more from a pop culture standpoint. And I think Steph Curry, like Steph Curry might be number one on that list, just as far as how much he changed the game, for better or worse. The way the game is played now with three-pointers, Curry changed the game. He's worked his way into one of the greatest players of all time. I think he's right on the cusp of being a top 10 player of all time, and argument could be made even higher. He's a four-time NBA champ. He's won two MVPs. He's the all-time three-point leader by a long shot, and he's still playing at a very high level. Um, so he could just keep racking up more numbers. He's probably the most beloved player in the NBA right now. Obviously, LeBron is immensely popular, but he's also got just as much detractors. Curry, I feel like, is much more universally loved. And a lot of those people that love Steph Curry are 10 years old. And so this is another reason why I think that this is super underrated, because Steph Curry is going to continue to be one of the most collectible and desirable athletes out there for the next 60 plus years. Because dudes who are 10 years old right now and out there, launching up threes every time they're on the playground and yelling Steph Curry, um, they're gonna have nostalgia and love for this guy, you know, for the next 60 years. Whereas you think, I mean, heck, even a lot of these younger kids now, they never got to see Michael Jordan play. Definitely we're very far removed from the Wilt Chamberlain and the Bill Russell days and the Oscar Robertsons. I mean, think about that. Think about how huge those players were, like Wilt Chamberlain, for example, and how much even now some of his mystique and nostalgia and collectability, to me, from what I see, maybe even goes down a little bit for how monstrous and amazing he was, because you get to a point where not as many people are left that actually saw him play and remembered him. Stephen Curry is going to be remembered for a very, very long time. This cover, first cover variant, scarce, low pop, um, most influential player of all time, possibly one of them, gonna be beloved forever. That's why I think this cover is super underrated. If you have a chance, I'm telling you right now, if you have a chance to grab a newsstand copy of Steph Curry's first cover, go out there and do it. There are only 49 graded, and actually it's less than that because CGC, I don't know what the heck they're doing. They still have not broken this out in the census. I told you there's two cover variants. They've got them all lumped together into one pop report. I even specifically asked on this submission, put the note in there, did everything I was supposed to do. Please break out into separate Steph Curry census. They even note on here, um, right over here, Sidney Crosby and first Steph Curry covers exist. But if it was broken out in the census, then right here it would say Steph Curry cover. And then when you went to the pop report, it would have a separate section for just the Steph Currys and for just the Crosbys. They don't have that. It is all still lumped together into one, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous, especially, I mean, I asked them, and I know they've been asked before, and they still haven't done it. So of those 49 graded, I'd be willing to bet that at least probably 35 of them are the Curry. I do know at least a handful are the Crosby because I've seen them out there. I looked, but hey, let's just say of the 49 graded, let's say 45 of them are Currys. That's still really, really low for a magazine from 2013. Okay, so they're pretty scarce. Part of that's because it's a variant. Part of that is because this was before, Curry had won any titles, before he really blew up into the super beloved player that he is now. At the 9.4 level that this one is, it's a pop 13 with six higher. So there are 13 9.4s, there are four 9.6s, and there are two 9.8s. And once again, a couple of those could be Sidney Crosby too. We don't even know. Pretty frustrating. A 9.4, just like this one, sold in January of this year for $403. A 9.6 sold a couple years ago for $2,000. So, it's already recognized as being highly collectible, but I'm telling you, I just think it's super underrated because I don't see this one. I don't see this one um, losing value anytime soon. This is going to continue to be. There's so many Steph Curry lovers and collectors out there, and a lot of them are really young. This is going to be one people want for a long time, and I'm super stoked to land the 9.4. I already have this cover once in an 8.5, so this is a nice bump. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe, and until the next video, I'll see you next time.